You check your account. The number reads $100,000. For a second, nothing happens. You just stare at it. This was supposed to be the moment. The number every finance book, every parent, every "you made it" milestone pointed to. So why does it feel normal? Why are you still checking prices at the grocery store? Still thinking twice about the flight? Still nowhere close to done? Here's the uncomfortable truth. $100,000 hasn't stopped being a big deal, but it has quietly changed jobs. It used to be the finish line. Today, it's closer to the starting line of something else entirely. And the strangest part isn't why 100K feels different now. It's what happens the moment after you reach it. The number that meant made it. For decades, $100,000 was shorthand for success. 6 figures wasn't just a number, it was a status. Parents used it as the benchmark for a good job. Movies used it as the punchline for "you're rich now." An entire generation grew up believing that once you crossed it, you'd arrived. That belief didn't come from nowhere. For most of the 20th century, $100,000 really was rare air. Most families never got close to it in savings, and even as a salary, it placed you well above the typical American household. So the number became a symbol, not just of money, of proof you'd figured it out. But symbols built decades ago don't always survive contact with the present. The number didn't change, the world did. Here's the part almost nobody explains clearly. $100,000 is still $100,000. The number on the screen hasn't moved. What moved is everything around it. According to Bureau of Labor Statistics inflation data, $100,000 back in 1990 had the buying power of roughly $255,000 today. Same number, 2.5 times less power. That's not a small shift. That's the difference between a number that used to buy a house outright in much of the country and a number that today might barely cover a down payment. The milestone
stayed fixed. The cost of the life it was supposed to represent didn't. This is the first crack in the myth. $100,000 isn't less impressive because people got greedier or standards got unrealistic. It's less impressive because the dollar itself does less work than it used to. But that creates an even bigger problem, because purchasing power is only half the story. Here's where most people get the milestone completely wrong. They treat 100K as one single achievement. It isn't. It's actually 4 completely different things wearing the same outfit. $100,000 in income, $100,000 in savings, $100,000 invested, $100,000 in net worth. These are not interchangeable. Someone can earn $100,000 a year and have almost nothing invested. High income, high spending, nothing building underneath it. Someone else can earn far less, but have $100,000 sitting in a brokerage account, quietly working every single day whether they're watching or not. For context, U.S. Census Bureau data puts the median American household income at roughly $83,700. So a $100,000 salary already puts a household above the midpoint of the country. But income alone builds nothing. It's what happens to that income after it arrives that actually matters. And that's where the real story of 100K begins. Not with how much you earn, but with how much of it you've actually put to work. This is the part that actually changes lives, and almost nobody explains it well. Before you have real money invested, you are the entire engine. Every dollar of growth comes from your own effort. The job, the side income, the discipline to not spend it. Something shifts once real capital builds up. Your effort still matters, but your money starts pulling weight too. Let's walk through a simple hypothetical example. Assumptions only, not a prediction, not a promise. Say someone invests $10,000 a year into a diversified portfolio, using a hypothetical average return loosely based on long-run historical stock
market performance, a rule of thumb number, not a guarantee. It could take roughly 8 or 9 years of steady contributing to cross that first $100,000. Here's the part that surprises people. If that same person keeps contributing the same $10,000 a year, the next $100,000 could hypothetically arrive faster, not because they saved more, but because the first $100,000 is now also generating growth of its own, stacking on top of new contributions. The first $100,000 is mostly built by you. The next one increasingly gets built with you. That's not magic. That's compounding. And it's the entire reason this milestone gets treated like a turning point, because in a very real mathematical sense, it can be one. So if 100K isn't the finish line, what is? $250,000? $500,000? $1 million? Here's the honest answer. There isn't one universal number where a switch flips and you're suddenly secure. What actually determines that has almost nothing to do with a round number and everything to do with your specific life, your age, your income, where you live, your expenses, whether you're carrying debt, whether you're supporting a family, how close you are to retirement, what you're actually trying to build toward. $500,000 at 28 with no dependents looks completely different from $500,000 at 58 with a mortgage and 2 kids in college. The milestones keep coming, but none of them are a finish line either. They're markers on a much longer road, one where the terrain keeps changing depending on who's walking it. Which brings up the mistake that quietly derails more people than any bad investment ever could. This is the one nobody warns you about. You hit $100,000. It feels incredible. And that feeling, that sense of I've made it, can quietly become the most expensive moment of your financial life. Because that's exactly when people start slowing down. Lifestyle creeps up to match the milestone. Contributions quietly shrink or stop. Cash piles up in a
savings account instead of continuing to work, sitting there just to be safe for years longer than it needs to. Some people start trying to time the market, waiting for the right moment to keep investing, which historically tends to cost more than it saves. None of this looks like a mistake in the moment. It looks like relaxing. It looks like you've earned a break. But the milestone was never the destination. It was the point where consistency started to matter more, not less, because now there's real capital in motion, and momentum is easy to lose and hard to rebuild. Investment choices should always depend on your own goals, risk tolerance, and time horizon. This isn't personal advice, but the pattern holds across almost every version of this story. The people who keep showing up after 100K are the ones who watch it turn into something much bigger. So, back to the question. You hit 100K. Why don't you feel rich? Because $100,000 was never actually the finish line it was sold as. It never made anyone wealthy by itself. It isn't proof that you've arrived, and it was never permission to stop. What it actually is quieter than that, and more powerful. It's the point where the money you've built finally starts pulling its own weight. The foundation everything after it gets built on top of. You didn't fail to feel rich at $100,000. You just reached the moment where the real work and the real growth was only getting started. If you're building toward your first $100,000, the important thing isn't chasing the number itself. It's understanding what that number is capable of becoming once you give it time to work. If this helped you see the milestone differently, subscribe. There's a lot more of this ahead.